Try to frag him.
I never tried to light him on fire. I was out there laughing. Don't get me wrong. You know, Don Barris and a bunch of other guys are trying to light him on fucking fire and stuff.
Is that frustrating though? Like, your career isn't based on like how good you are. It's if you pick the number. Like for the first few, that must be really frustrating.
You do what you can in the beginning until you start to figure it out. There was an open mic in San Francisco at the Punchline on Sunday nights, and people would go up there and they would put you on a list, but there was no names, there was no numbers. The guy would come up to you 5 minutes before and go, "You're next," and he would walk past you and glare at you. I did it one time. I told the guy to go fuck himself, and I saw him at the fucking Laugh Factory. And I go, "Remember me, bitch?" And he was like, "Fuck you, fuck you, motherfucker." That night you tried to fuck with us.
It's hilarious.
Fuck you, motherfucker, doing that to a comedian. You know, people don't do that. That's the respect factor I didn't like about the beginning of comedy.
Right.
And then here you get it even worse until you book something.
Right.
See, that's what I always tell young comics when they come out. Try to book something. I don't care. I don't care if you got to suck 10 dicks. Just get it out of the way now. Book something. Book something so that people see you, the booking agents, and they give you a little work at the improvs, even them saying, you know, they give you a little love. But it's all based on that. They don't give a fuck how funny you are. Oh, this guy's going to be fun. You know what? If this guy booked the fucking part on, what's the show with Vergara, American Family, even if it's a plumber, and people say you booked a role on there, guess what? He might book a role on a pilot that's fucking Seinfeld. And here we're going to turn him down. No, that's not going to happen. It's like when you go to jail and you write letters of recommendation. If you get a judge that has political aspirations, that guy, every letter to him is 250 people. Because when you die, they make 250 MASH cards. Everybody knows at least 250 people. Dentists, lawyers, communists. So every time you send if I send a letter in Lee's behalf because you're a swindler, you're really Bernie Madoff. I gave him $100 last week. He lost it all in Vegas. I invested in this motherfucker.
He walked away.
He was a stock fraud. He told me he was a poker player. I said, well, let me stake this guy for 20 points. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. He came back with rabbit ears.
Walked away. Don't walk away.
How long were you in New York for running and gunning before somebody took notice of you?
I was there till like I said, like 99. I just like.
So the first thing was Keenan Ivory Wayne.
The first like I done like some like they had an Uptown Comedy Club TV show, and I did like that
was 125th Street on the other side. Right, I remember that.
So
I almost walked over there and I was like, I don't think so.
That place used to scare me too. Like I used to go there.
I used to cop right down on Broadway.
Oh, word?
There was a health food store, Mr. Wendell.
I think I remember that.
That was when that jam was out, Mr. Wendell. He was an old dude.
It's hilarious.
He would always give me chocolate Thai weed, and I always try to shoplift one from his hand like a magician. You gotta bring that paper back, son. There's only a 20 in here.
It's hilarious.
All right, so you did Uptown Comedy Club. You come out here. Then you did like Bad Boys of Comedy.
Yeah, I did Bad Boys, and I did Def Jam back in New York too.
How was Def Jam?
Def Jam was great to do, but by the time I did it, it didn't have the effect that it used to have. So it did a good set, but nothing.
Who was the host?
Then Martin wasn't hosting the first time I did it, so you just missed that window.
Yeah.
Like
who was the host then?
Who was the winner? Who hosted that episode? I think. What's his name? Joe Torre, I think, was the host of that show.
Joe Torre was the warm-up.
At first, but then he ended up being a host. Yeah.
When I first started comedy, that was one of the first tapes I got.
Oh,
I got the Best of Def Jam with the kid from Jersey, Bill Bellamy.
Bill Bellamy, yeah.
And one of the guys is Joe Torre. And until this day, I just saw Joe Torre. I always tell him that joke about my brother's a saved the whale type motherfucker. Me, I bought a gun for protection. Shit. I go to the ATM and I dressed up in a tuxedo with a gun. You know, shit like that. I laughed my ass off when I heard that at first. That was one of the first things I bought. I really liked BET. That wasn't on BET. It was on HBO. I saw a lot of fucking people on there blow up a room. But I'm going to tell you who was the most memorable person I ever seen blow up a room on there. D.L. Hughley.
Oh, okay.
As an MC.
Right.
Which is tough. He just took that fucking room and fucked them up. Fucked them fucking people up to pieces. I had never seen that many people Dog, the best place I ever saw a movie was on 178th Street. I was telling Lee the other day I went to see Rambo. That movie theater was packed with black people. Rambo 2. 1985. When he got the Russian and he opens his eyes in the mud. Dog, black people were fucking jumping up and down that movie theater. They were yelling, "That white boy's a bad motherfucker! I told you that white motherfucker was bad." Oh, it was hysterical.
That's hilarious.
I saw him. That's when I saw D.L. Hughley blow up. He fucking took it apart, man.
Yeah, that show Mad Stars.
Mad Stars.
Mad Stars. You got on, even if you didn't become a star, you'd be on that tour. You're making money. So, you know, I was like seeing people get their shit off on it, and it's just dying to get up. But I wasn't even ready then yet either. You know, I was still like working on my shit, trying to figure out, and then finally I had a set together, and I got on. You know, but it was just missed that window. You know, and I did it twice. Yeah, I did it twice. I did it again where it was like an all-star show, and that was like.
Now, one of them you had dreads on.
Yeah, both of them I had dreads on.
Both of them, okay.
One was just longer dreads and shit, and then did good on that one too. But nothing. The show just didn't have the power it used to have.
Were you disappointed?
It's not disappointed. Like if I knew what I knew now, then I could have did something with it. But you just didn't know. You just you did the set. It's gonna air. I'm gonna get these phone calls. Nothing.
And there was no social media.
There's no social media either.
There was no social media.
There's nothing you could do. You could do.
Yeah, that's crazy. There was no social media.
Didn't you have a similar experience with The Longest Yard?
Yeah, that's why it's kind of weird when you do something, you're expecting so much in return.
Yeah.
And nothing happens. And I tell people that was my breaking point. Like 8 months after that, once that movie came out on DVD, and I was still getting problems with auditions, I didn't know how to handle it.
Right.
I didn't know. And then I see Tracy Morgan on TV after it, and fucking the black dude with muscles. That motherfucker scored that movie from that. That's his whole career started.
Terry Crews. Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, and here I am living on fucking Schrader in Hollywood and shit. Back by Selma. You know, when you living by Selma, you get fucked up.
Yeah.
Shit's not right.
Shady. That's a shady block.
That's a shady fucking block. Not anymore.
They cleaned it up.
Not anymore. Now they cleaned it up. So now, what CD did you do that Conan produced it?
Last year, I did my first comedy album, and me and my manager. I got a good manager now. His name is Hunter Seidman. Like like I said, if I had managers where, hey man, these people like me and they want to do something. They say, all right, cool, and then they'll never investigate it. Like people who didn't care, or if you did something and you could make something out of it, they just didn't care or follow any leads. I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
Unless they get the leads, sometimes they don't want to fuck with it. It's really weird.
It's stupid.
If they don't know from A to Z, they're like, we called, but the guy sounded fishy. Then you bump into the dude a year later, and you're like, dog, your manager never called me.
Right.
We didn't think you want to do the project. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Like when I did basketball one day, as the third day I was on the set, they're like, hey, man, we called the Comedy Store looking for you for Mafia. Remember they did the movie with Jay Moore, married the Italian people, like 98? I was pissed. The guy goes, yeah, we called the store twice. We talked to the guy, the talent coordinator.